Hey Credit Warriors, Credit Shifu here, and just today a new stimulus bill has been agreed on. So to give you some context on this, last Thursday the Paycheck Protection Program ran out of money. They had given out $349 billion over 14 days, which is the same amount of loans that the Small Business Association would normally make in 14 years. Now these are forgivable loans that small businesses can use to cover the paychecks of their employees, okay? So even if you don't own a small business yourself, but you are employed by a small business, this may actually affect you, okay? So this affects more people than just entrepreneurs, because your employer may be using these funds to cover your paycheck for the next 2.5 months, which is how long this program lasts for. And like I said, these loans are forgivable, so as long as they use it for paychecks, they do not have to pay it back. So Republicans and President Trump initially wanted to add another $250 billion to the Paycheck Protection Program when they ran out of money last Thursday. Democrats kind of agreed in principle, but they wanted to add a load of other things in there, like funding for hospitals and state and local governments, which was why they couldn't reach an agreement last week, and it dragged on until the weekend. But it does now seem that they have either reached agreement or are very, very close to reaching an agreement, to the point where they can kind of say, yeah, it's in the bag, we just got to do the last few things. Here is Secretary Mnuchin earlier being interviewed on CNN.
I think we're making a lot of progress. I've had multiple conversations all weekend with the leadership of both the Senate and the House. I spoke with Chuck Schumer this morning already. I know he's on after. And I think we're making a lot of progress.
So the Treasury Secretary is certainly optimistic about getting it agreed this weekend. Here is what they have agreed upon so far. An extra $300 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program, $50 billion more than Republicans wanted. $50 billion for the EIDL program. Those are these $10,000 grants that also don't have to be paid back for small businesses. $75 billion in emergency funding for hospitals and $25 billion for testing. So a total of $450 billion. So you can see that they did get that money in there for hospitals and for testing. No mention yet of some funding for state and local government, which is what the Democrats do want, and probably why Mnuchin was reluctant to say, they're making progress rather than they had reached a deal yet. But this is Chuck Schumer on CNN earlier. He seems to be pretty confident in, the fact that they're going to get an agreement this weekend and the timescale of passing the bill.
So you agree with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin that the deal could be done today and voted on in the Senate tomorrow, the House on Tuesday, and then signed by President Trump on Wednesday?
Well, Speaker Pelosi and I have had constant discussions with Secretary Mnuchin. Our staffs are meeting 24/7. We've made very good progress, and I'm very hopeful we could come to an agreement tonight or early tomorrow morning.
So as long as they can agree on the last parts of this, which it sounds like they probably can, that's going to be the timescale. Senate vote tomorrow, House vote on Tuesday, and then potentially President Trump signing it. Well, they said on Wednesday, could even be Tuesday night that he would sign the bill. Now, will it be enough? Okay, because I applied actually on the first day and I didn't even get into the first round of funding. Now, it seems that actually, although I registered my interest with Chase on the first day, they didn't actually get back to me immediately. So it was a few days after that that I actually filled out the actual form, and then my credit was, my company's credit was pulled and my application was sent in. So probably a lot of other businesses who applied through smaller banks actually did get their applications in before me. But Chase sent me an email saying basically, hopefully with the next round of funding, we will be able to cover your loan, all right? So is this round of funding going to be enough? Well, Mnuchin thinks so. CNN tried to say that, this program could require $1 trillion. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. This is what Mnuchin said, though.
We think that another $300 billion, that's what we're talking about, should be sufficient to reach almost everybody. And let me just comment, we've also reached an agreement on SBA disaster loans. So there'll be another $50 billion appropriated.
So notice he uses the word almost everyone there, just covering himself. Maybe what they mean by that is everyone who's already applied, this will probably be enough to cover it. But they can't, really know how many more people are going to apply, because most banks now are not taking applications for this. It is closed until, a new batch of funding is approved. So probably next week, a load of banks will start opening up their applications for it again. And, you may see a flood of people and they may run out of money again in a few weeks. But probably this batch will last longer than the first batch, just because so many people applied, at the beginning. So I'm guessing the second batch will last longer. So guys, if you are waiting on an application, you can kind of feel assured that there is money coming. If you have thought about applying for this and haven't done so yet, I would encourage you, as soon as banks open their applications for this again, get right there and apply, because from my experience, I applied right at the beginning and there still wasn't enough money to cover my loan, okay? They used that $349 billion before they got to me. So if you want to get in on this, apply as early as possible. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And don't forget, we cover stimulus checks, stimulus packages, personal finance, credit cards, almost every day. So if you want to keep up to date on the news and increase your personal financial strength, do subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notifications. I would really appreciate it as well. I am a full-time YouTuber. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.